One of my favourite moments of a Tuesday morning is catching up with this next person who is from history out there. His name is Harold Peacock, and he delves into all of our local history for us. Good morning, Harold.
Yes, good morning, Damo. I've been delving a lot, and this is a good one from almost a century ago out at Dalby.
Yeah, exactly. Now, it examines a court case in which a drover was convicted of a crime that carried a pretty harsh sentence.
Yeah, and I suspect he was a bit of a stooge by the real perpetrators. But anyway, I'll tell you the story, and then we'll let the listeners decide.
All right, no worries.
Now, it was in 1931, a drover by the name of Robert Bob O'Brien was charged in the Dalby Police Court with making counterfeit silver coins, which he intended to pass off for florins, shillings, sixpences and threepences, all that old currency.
Right.
Now, O'Brien was 34 years old and unmarried. He was born in Sydney and grew up in Moree. When he was 19, he arrived at Gundawindi, where he worked for his stepfather for 4 years. He then went to Warwick for 2 years and began work as a drover. And then for 9 years, up to the time of his alleged offence, he lived in Dalby. So he was well known across the district. Now, the judge in the Supreme Court for this case was Queensland's Chief Justice and former Attorney General, Sir James Blair. The prosecuting police included Dalby's Sergeant Patrick McGreevy and Toowoomba's Detective Sergeant Frank Kearney, who was later promoted to Inspector, put in charge of the CIB, and incidentally got a hole-in-one at the Nudgee Golf Course. Anyway, defending O'Brien was Mr. William Voles, who was the former leader of the opposition and a member for Dalby in the Queensland Parliament. Now, it is all very strange because the prosecution effectively acted as a witness for the defence. It admitted that O'Brien had not previously been convicted of any offence, was unable to read or write, was a hard-working man of good character, and that he appeared of a simple nature. In other words, he was a bit slow.
Right.
Now, O'Brien initially pleaded not guilty, but changed his plea, and so was convicted. But there were so many other, more likely suspects. Now, it all began, it was the spinster Joanna Halley. She was the first person to report the coins when she was given them in her shop on Bunya Street in Dalby.
Right.
She said that twice she was given fake florins by a little girl by the name of Smith.
Ooh.
Anyway, the police went to the Smith home and were led by the girl's brother Adam to their father William Smith, who was at a camp with O'Brien by the Condamine River. And the camp was about 1.5 miles from Cecil Plains. Now, O'Brien clumsily tried to hide his knotted handkerchief.
Right.
Because he was hiding a number of the coins in it.
Oh.
Anyway, the police grabbed him and O'Brien was arrested and led police to the home of Mrs. Madge Taylor at Cecil Plains. Now, Madge admitted she had actually written letters to a Melbourne firm asking for a die to make the coins.
Right.
But claimed she only did it because she was asked to by O'Brien.
Oh.
The police then raided the house of a man named William Johnson, 2.5 miles from Dalby along the Cecil Plains Road, and found the full counterfeit making kit. There was a die for a florin, a plaster of Paris mould for a florin, a piece of white metal, a quantity of prepared metal in a tin, one counterfeit half crown, a letter containing instructions for operating the die, a recipe for making metals, a blow lamp, and a package of plaster of Paris. And, of course, Johnson said it was O'Brien's. Anyway, the judge in his summing up stated the obvious, that he had not got all the facts, he believed that others were involved, and that O'Brien was not the brains of the affair.
Right.
Poor old, the poor old slow drover. Now, look, counterfeiting carried a maximum penalty of hard labour for life, but O'Brien was given just a £100 3-year good behaviour bond. So clearly the judge knew that they weren't at the bottom of this. So why weren't the others ever prosecuted?
Yeah.
But after all, Adam and his father, William Smith, were already known to police. And the father would later be convicted of assaulting a woman with a stock whip.
Oh.
And then Madge Taylor, she's the one that wrote the letter, she probably avoided scrutiny because she was a pillar of society.
Oh.
You see, She was a vice president of the Cecil Plains School of Arts and vice president of the Cecil Plains branch of the Queensland Country Women's Association.
Oh, no.
I know, right? And then there was William Johnson, in whose house all the counterfeiting equipment was found. Not long afterwards, Johnson suddenly died and was found dead in his bed by none other than the drover Bob O'Brien.
Right.
So whatever the truth was, it appears that O'Brien was probably set up as a stooge, but it was all very strange. The other people were implicated, but they were never, ever brought to justice.
Ah, there you go. Well, look, I tell you what, a great story. Now, you're going to be posting this up online, aren't you?
Absolutely. History out there. You can find history out there on the socials, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and posting online. I'll do that at the end of the week on my website, historyouthere.com.
Geez, we must be getting a few of them stocked up there now.
114 stories. Well, yeah, and it's been a lot of fun doing it.
Oh, mate, we always love having you on the program every Tuesday. It gives us a nice little look back at, some of the fun stories of yesteryear, doesn't it?
That's right, and thinking of poor old Bob O'Brien, the drover, that maybe got set up a little bit to be a decoy.
He could have done, yeah, mate. Always good to chat, and we can jump onto historyouthere.com towards the end of this week and read that story and many others. But, mate, always good to catch up. We'll look forward to doing it again next week.
You just try to stop me.
There we go. Harold Peacock from historyouthere.com and our look at local history.